Okay, hello everyone. My name is Julie Floyd. I'm the founder and CEO of Styled Life and the Styled Life Crown Club. The Styled Life Crown Club is a virtual platform for anyone who wants to learn how to grow, style, and care for healthy, natural curls. Our content contributors are Styled Life celebrity hairstylists, industry professionals, influencers, and more. Today's webinar topic is Winter Hair Heroes, Nourishing Your Natural Hair in Cold Weather, hosted by Erikajoy Gardner. Erika is a natural hair care expert with over 16 years of experience in the industry. She has dedicated her career to helping women embrace their natural beauty, and she is on a mission to educate the masses on the importance of overall health and its contribution to hair growth and hair maintenance. We welcome you to today's webinar and thank you all for joining. Erika?
Hi, thank you, Julie, so much for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Just as Julie said, I'm Erikajoy Gardner. I've been in the industry definitely for over 16 years now. I am currently taking the time to study trichology, which is the study of scalp and hair loss issues and how to treat those hair loss issues. And I am doing that with the World Trichology Society. And it's been a journey, but it's been a great one. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I definitely love to educate others on proper hair care techniques, proper ways to take care of their hair, and of course, how to nourish your hair from the inside out. My biggest thing to talk about is always nourishing your body and your gut. Talking about gut health is very important because it's vital for hair maintenance and for hair growth, proper hair growth. Because we don't just want to see hair grow. We know the hair grows no matter what, but we want to be able to maintain and retain the length that we receive. And in order for us to do that, we have to make sure that we are on a good path where our nutrients are concerned. Okay, so today what I want to talk about is about this winter weather. I'm in Florida, so it's not quite winter weather here, but I understand that most people are in areas where there is winter weather, and we did get a couple days of cold here. And in that time, we still have our own complications, even though we're in Florida. So if you happen to be in Florida, if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, I just want you to know that I do have a salon. My salon is located in Valrico, Florida. Been there for about 3 years now, and I enjoy every minute of being behind the chair. But I also serve, of course, as a global educator. I do these webinars and work alongside other stylists and doing other things in other companies as well, educating others. So let's focus a little bit on our hair and what we can do to nourish our hair during these times. So deep conditioning, of course, is our number one thing. I do have some things that I want to show you along the way. Some I love to use little, I don't know what you would call it, like like aids to help you to understand exactly what you need to do in order to nourish your hair. So with deep conditioning treatments, I won't name off any products in particular, but I will tell you that it is vital for you to shampoo and condition your hair at least twice a week. I know whenever I say this to someone, they always freak out or raise their eyebrows, but the truth of the matter is, your scalp has to be clean. It needs a healthy environment in order to thrive. And you have stem cells underneath your scalp, and those stem cells need to be stimulated on a consistent basis. Not shampooing your hair on a regular basis actually causes more problems than not. I know that it's been said in the past that, when you allow your scalp to be dirty, that it produces more oil and it grows more. That's not true. Your hair thrives in a clean environment. Your scalp needs to be clean. The impurities from your scalp need to be removed so that your follicles can continue to be nourished and they can continue to thrive. Okay. So that's the first thing that I want to point out to you. However, even though you are shampooing your hair twice a week, there are some things that really do help. Number one, if you have hard water, it is important, it's vital for you to seek help where a filtration system is concerned. Now, I understand that not everybody has the means to get a whole water softening system for your home, but there are shower heads now that have a filter on it. There are, little doohickeys that you can pick up from Home Depot or Lowe's, or sometimes even like Bed Bath and Beyond that you can pick up that will help you. You can put it right on your shower head or on your sink, however you shampoo your hair, and that will help you with not dealing with hard water. So, what is the big deal with having hard water? The big deal with having hard water is that hard water can have heavy metals in it, it can have chlorine in it, and those things can really wreak havoc on the hair. Okay. So you're wondering why your hair is dry, why you can't seem to get it nourished, and why it can't seem to be moisturized. It's always dry and brittle and breaking. Sometimes you even might be dealing with frizz, and you think, and the things that I've heard before is that curly hair has no shine. Curly hair is dry, is naturally dry because it can't because of the way that the curl pattern is, the oil can't get to the ends, and some of that is true. It's not like it's completely false, but it doesn't mean that our curls don't can't be shiny. It doesn't mean that your curls have to be dry. You can eliminate these issues simply by putting a filtration system on your in your shower or on your sink. That will eliminate part of the problem, and I do say part because you do have to make sure that you are using the right type of products. So the majority of the time, especially when you're dealing with natural hair, because of the brittleness or the breakage or the fact that you might be experiencing frizz, the first thing that you go for is a protein-based shampoo and conditioner, and that is not the answer. Let me assure you. Protein, too much protein actually can snap off your hair and it can make it even drier. So you need to figure out exactly what your hair needs from the beginning. Does your hair need more moisture or does it need more hydration? Or does it actually need protein? And the way that you can tell what your hair actually needs is simply by taking a strand and putting it into water. If it seeps down to the bottom of the water really fast, if you take that hair strand and you just put it on the water and it just floats right down to the bottom, then most definitely you have porous hair and your hair definitely is lacking protein. So you need some protein. But if it's sitting on top of the water, you do not need any protein in your hair. So the last thing you want to do is use a shampoo or a conditioner that has a bunch of protein in it because you don't need it. What you need is some moisturizing properties. What you need probably is hydration. Okay. And most of the time, if it's sitting on the top of the water, I would say some hydration probably is what you need. And the reason that I say that is because if your strand sits on top of the water, that's non-porous hair, which is honestly very healthy hair. However, nothing is able to penetrate it because the cuticle layers are laying so flat that nothing's getting in. Nothing's getting in, which means that if you try to put moisture on that, all it's going to do is just sit on top of that hair strand. So, really, you need a little bit of hydration to open up those cuticle layers a little bit and allow the moisture to come in. Okay. So, you can use a hydrating shampoo if you need to. If you notice that your hair sits on top of the water, but then it slowly, little by little, kind of soaks up the water and just gets right in the water really nicely, and it just sits there, or it slowly floats down to the bottom, then you probably have your normal porosity, and you can use hydrating or moisturizing products. I would say more moisturizing at that point because you want to keep the moisture in and you don't want your hair to become porous, but you most certainly don't want to put so much stuff on it or put a barrier on it where nothing can go in and now you have non-porous hair as well. Okay, so you want normal porosity. Okay, that's the perfect balance, meaning that anything you put on it, it's going to go right in and it's going to do exactly what you need it to do. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing you want to do. And once you determine whether or not you need protein or if you need moisture or if you need hydration, then you can go ahead and you can begin to you shampoo and condition your hair. You want to do both. You don't just do one or the other. This co-washing business that people have been into for the longest time, I am imploring you to please give it up. Your scalp again needs to be clean, okay? I understand that we've been told that curly hair is dry. We just had that whole conversation. I'm giving you ways where you don't have dry hair and also not have non-porous hair because you're doing things like co-washing and allowing a barrier to sit on top of your hair. Because a lot of times people with non-porous hair even, you'll notice that their strands are dry. You'll see that the strands just look dry. It's like, okay, I have non-porous hair. What's going on here? Nothing can get in. That's what's going on. So don't cause more problems by co-washing. Okay. I know that it's been a thing for the longest time. I'm telling you right now, I'm very again. I literally just told a client today, and not to put my client out there. I did tell her, I said, hey, I'm having a webinar about this tonight. And when she came in, I mean, it was her hair was so matted and there was no way of getting around doing anything about it. We actually had to cut it into a cute little style. It turned out great, of course, but we had to give her hair a nice style because she had been doing that, the co-washing and everything, and it was just turning into a matted mess, and it got out of hand. Eventually, it got out of control, and there was nothing that could be done anymore. Now, I'm not telling you that co-washing does that to your hair. That's not what I'm saying. That's her story, but I'm not saying that that happens to everyone. But with the co-washing, definitely we want to slow down on that, and we want to create. You have a question? Oh, you
Uh,
just
no, I do. I was just going to wait till you're finished because I want to just mention something about this.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I've heard you say something like this before. And because you said that, I had my hair done, I don't know, last year somewhere. And um, the stylist, who was wonderful, she put a tremendous amount of gel in my hair. And then when it dried, I realized I had like gel, it was like caked onto my scalp. And I remember here in my head, I was like, gosh, like this can't be good for my scalp and then ultimately my hair. And I just wanted to ask you just to speak a little bit about that, because probably not just the co-wash, but if you have too many products on your scalp as well.
Absolutely. Too many products in general. I know that a lot of people, and I'm guilty of this too. We overuse products a lot of times because we're trying to, I don't know, I guess because our hair is so thick, we just automatically assume that we need more of this and more of that, when really you'll know that you have too much because your hair will be white. And if your hair is white, you have put way too much product on your hair. So we want to put it's okay to do things like put in, like oils on the scalp, or if something calls for you to put it on the scalp. Like I even know that some conditioners even call for you to put it on the scalp, right? But we know that conditioners get rinsed off. But there's certain things that you might have to put on your scalp, and that's okay. But gels and curl creams and those type of things, I would say definitely start at the root of the hair, but there's no need for you to slap all that stuff all over your scalp. You want to avoid that at all costs because you don't want your follicles getting clogged. And also you can end up with folliculitis if you're not careful, which is a clogged follicle. And a clogged follicle, trust me when I tell you, it does not feel good. It hurts really bad because you're it's like having a pimple essentially, but with your scalp. So now it's clogged, or if you ever had an ingrown hair or something like that, and it's just bugging you so much, and all you can do is just wait for it to just pop. It's no joke. It really hurts. It's it's not fun at all. Or sometimes it can just be bothersome just because you can feel a bump there and so it's just gnawing at you because some people don't always feel something, but you want to be careful. You never want your follicles to get clogged. It wreaks havoc. It creates an environment actually for that follicle because it is clogged. Now it has potential to close completely, and if it closes, now of course that means you lost an area where hair can grow out. And if you ever paid close attention to your follicles, more than likely you have more than one strand of hair coming out of that follicle. So you just closed off an area for hairs to come out of. And sometimes they'll go find another area, but sometimes they won't. So we want all of our strands.
Thank you for
We
that.
want
It
all
just
of our
made me think,
strands.
yeah, we don't want things yeah,
Exactly.
like crusting on our scalp. Okay. Pardon the
Yes.
interruption.
No, that was good. So we definitely want to make sure that we are picking right shampoos, conditioners, and then of course your next thing. I do want to take some time to talk about the protective styles. Okay, I know that not everybody can do a wash and go. Not everybody has time to retwist every twist that they had on their head after they've gotten it twisted and now they've undid everything because it looks, nice. Everybody doesn't have time to do that. So most of the time, what we know women fall prey to is putting braids in their hair or sew-ins even, and calling it a protective style. Is there anything wrong with you getting a sew-in or getting braids? No. But I just have to talk to you a little bit about some things that I've been finding that have been happening, not just in my salon, but also with people in general. And I have to educate the masses. I've been doing a little bit of research on braiding hair in particular. Okay. Now, when it comes to sew-ins, I'm going to touch this really quickly first before I get to the braiding hair. Sew-ins, when I was an instructor at a beauty school, I would never allow my students to use cotton thread. Um, I know that polyester is a big one. I barely wanted them to use polyester thread. And anytime they did do a sew-in, or anytime I did a sew-in for someone, I always used a net and nylon thread. And the reason behind that is because I knew that cotton soaks up things, meaning that we're already closing off the scalp as is. So that, well, you got your braids in, and now you're putting the braiding hair in, or the sew in there, and some people even use braiding hair for that. But I'll get to the braiding in a minute. Why the braiding hair is such a hassle for me. Um, and then you sew it up, and then you have this hair in your head, and now you have this cotton thread, and what it's doing is not only is it sucking all your nutrients out of your hair, but it's also can cause popping in your hair as well. So, and when I say popping, meaning that it's tearing up your strands. And the longer you wear these sew-ins because they're your protective style, the more havoc you're wreaking on your hair. So by the time you take that sew-in out, you're thinking that you've just retained length and that you're going to have all this length, and you do. But all that length is broken. It's all broken because you've used cotton thread. You didn't take the time to shampoo it while it was in there, because you still have to shampoo your hair, believe it or not. Just because it's in the sew-in, you still need to shampoo your hair. You still need to condition it. You got to just make sure that it's dried properly because you don't want a fungal infection or anything like that. So it gets a little more complicated when it comes to having a sew-in, but you have to really take good care of them and make sure that you're taking care of your hair underneath and your scalp underneath while you have that sew in. The majority of the people that get a sew in, they never do anything else with their hair. They just leave it in that sew in. They'll brush or, style the extensions that are on their head, but they never think about their scalp or their own hair. They never think about the nourishment that has to go into their own hair. So that as a protective style becomes a problem if you're really not. How are you protecting? How is it a protective style if you're not protecting your hair? Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Erikajoy, I think that's a really important point to make. I've actually never heard that myself. And so, For those of us who are part of the Crown Club, like we're getting this kind of information from you, you're an expert, you've been in the hair industry for so many years, but from the perspective of what's healthy from the inside of your body and the outside of your body. Most consumers or most people who want, the sew in and have no idea, maybe even what kind of thread is being used. Like, how do we get that message out to people, and how do we get that message out to other um, hairstylists who are doing the sew-ins?
So first and foremost, I know that I'm not really sure how it operates in every single state. So I'm not going to pretend like I do because I don't. But I know in most states, you do have to have a license even to do sew-ins. But many times people don't go to licensed professionals. Many times, I mean, even in my own family, there are people that do their sew-ins at home. And because I'm used to growing up with that, I don't think anything of it. I don't go to my cousins or my family members and go, why are you doing that sewing at home using that cotton thread that's gonna pop out your hair? No, because it's a normal thing. I mean, they do it at home, it's not a big deal. And then you have some people that have some the money and the means to go to the salon and get it properly done. But even then, sometimes they're not using the right things. And then let's be honest, there's some stylists that honestly they don't care. They don't care. And I see this across the board when it comes to many things. And I have for many years. When it comes to coloring the hair, everything. You really do have some stylists that's all about the money. So whatever's going to make them money, they don't really take the time to educate themselves on those things. But we really do have to begin to educate the masses on this. And if you are one that wears sew-ins to protect your natural hair, always ask that stylist what kind of thread they're using, and it should be nylon thread. And hey, listen, if they don't have nylon thread, here's the trick. You go to Joann's Fabrics and you go and get nylon thread by Coats and Coats. That's what I use. Go and get it. I mean, it's like $3 or something. You just get it. You get it in brown or get it in black or in blonde, whatever color you need, and you take it to the stylist. And the stylist might gripe and complain, and they might say, "I'm not used to using this." Get used to using it because I need to protect my hair. So if you are one that uses sew-ins as a protective style, please use nylon thread. And I know that there are different types of nylon thread. Some nylon thread really it is a hassle to use and it pops easily. That's why I go to Joann's Fabrics and I just get the Coats and Coats nylon thread, and it doesn't even cost that much, and that's what I use on my clients because I do care about their hair and I do want to see it nourished from the inside out. I don't want them to just wear the style and look good with the style. I want their hair underneath to thrive as well. So that's one thing. But then the other protective style that I know that we are used to wearing, and I have it in the pictures on the flyer, are braids. Braids are so versatile, and I mean, you can do updos. I have gone to galas and have done nice updos with my braids and everything. But as we learn and grow, we want to do better. So, what I've been seeing a lot of are clients that come in and I'm like, what is going on? Like, people coming in off the street and they're like, I got to find somebody that can take care of my hair. My hair has been so messed up. And I'm like, well, what did you do? Oh, well, I had braids all this time. And for the longest, I'm like, you've had braids and braids did this? I'm like, I wear braids all the time. My hair doesn't look like that. But then what I begin to see is more and more cases of that, where people are coming in, they're getting their hair braided, and this is the outcome. They have breakage, their scalps have abrasions on it, their scalp have outbreaks, they're losing their hairline because of the traction that's done. There's so many things. And then you're thinking to yourself, like, well, this braider just braids too tight. Maybe you need to just go to another braider. But then what I found out is that most of the time, these days, it's not the braider. It's what they're doing to the hair. It's what they're doing to the hair. And you know something, you guys? Hey, I even say that about the food. It's what they're doing to the food, right? It's the reason that we have issues with trying to get ourselves nourished. So now it's what they're doing to the hair. So what happens with the synthetic braiding hair that we have on the market today is not only does it release carcinogens every time you heat it up, because you know how we dip it in the hot water to seal the ends and make it look all nice and everything. It releases carcinogens, but not only does it release carcinogens, but the material itself, if you set it, sometimes because it's flame retardant, right? So when you light the flame and you're trying to, like, make the ends stick together, it causes a problem. The hair itself have all these chemicals on it, and those chemicals and dyes as well. So it has dyes, it has sometimes they put like these because they want it to be antimicrobial, so they'll put these different type of pesticides and different things on the hair, and those things are breaking out the scalp, tearing up the hair. You're wondering, and then you got to think about all of these chemicals that are on the hair, right? And then you just wet it. You wet it, and then sometimes you mousse it down, so you're just having all that stuff just stick right on your hair strand, and it's going right into your cuticle layer, touching your cortex layer of your hair, and just wreaking havoc on your hair. So by the time you take these braids out, your hair is brittle, it's dry, it's broken, and you're like, this was my protective style. What happened? What happened? This style was supposed to last me for 8 weeks. I shouldn't have had to do anything to my hair except, you know what I'm going to say, shampoo it and condition it and keep it moving. And I take this hairstyle out, and now I have my hair is in worse condition than it was prior to me getting it. And I've been seeing more and more of this. So myself have gotten far away from wearing braids until the other day I found, or a couple weeks ago, while I was doing my research, I found this company called Rebundle that it was this young lady who created this hair. Same thing was happening to her. It was wreaking havoc on her scalp. She was breaking out. Her hair was brittle, dry, the whole nine. And she created this hairline called Rebundle. And with this hairline is made from banana fibers, and it is itch free, it's biodegradable, it's reusable. I mean, just everything that you can think of. I haven't purchased it just yet, but I am going to purchase it, and I will keep you guys up to date on how that works because I love wearing my braids, but I had to get away from it after getting, having that insight and seeing what was happening to my clients. The last thing that I ever want to be is a hypocrite and do something that I'm asking them not to do. So I had to get away from the braids. And that's really hard for me because I like crazy colors and everything, but if it's not going to be beneficial, we're not going to use it. We're here to help you grow your hair. We're not here to hurt you. So we want to make sure that whatever we're doing is going to be beneficial. And the braiding hair, I'm giving you that caveat now. The braiding hair that's in the stores today, in the stores, they are not good. They do release carcinogens every time you heat them up, and they do wreak havoc on your scalp and on the length of your hair or retention because of all of the chemicals that are in the synthetic hair. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you about that. But as far as protective styles are concerned, I would say, if you can't wear a wash and go, then go ahead and just twist your hair. Just twist it and keep it twisted, and wear twist outs. Comb twist. I know some people do comb twist on their hair. You can braid your own hair. You can do like French braids are really cute. They're in now. There's different styles that you can do on your own hair that look really trendy and nice, and that will set you apart from the masses, and people will still love your hair. In fact, when my hair is longer, most of the time, there are some days where I will literally just take piece by piece, roll it and pin it. Just roll, and I don't look in the mirror. I just take pieces of my hair and just roll it and pin it. And then when I get to the front, I'll take it and roll it and pin it. And most people go, "Whoa, that's such a nice updo." And it's like, uh-huh, little do you know, my hair is balled up right now because all I did was just rolled it and pin it. But you can find other things to do with your hair. And you know something? Those are protective styles. Those protect your hair, and your hair is not, it does is no there's no traction on it, there's nothing pulling it, there's nothing with chemicals being done. It's just in a nice little hairstyle. And even though you will have to do it again tomorrow, at least you have something that'll last you, and you can use those as protective styles for now, okay? Until we find out more about this rebundle hair if you like braids. All right. So, moisture retention techniques. Let me tell you about some things that you can do. This is the part that gets tricky, and this is the part that most people don't like. Most people don't like this part because it takes time. It really takes time. So, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my technique. This is what I do for my hair. It's the easiest thing, and I really do like it. Okay. At night, what I do is I take my treatment. I have a hair treatment or oil, either one, and I will take it and pump that oil or my hair treatment into my hair, emulsify, and I literally just do like this all over. Just do just like that, pat it in there really good, get it in there as much as I can, and then I just cover my head with a bonnet and go to sleep. Okay, that's my night routine. But then when I get up in the morning, I take my shower, and sometimes I'll completely wet my hair in the shower. I don't necessarily shampoo it and condition it. I'll just completely wet my hair in the shower and then get out and begin to take my Denman brush, and I will brush through my hair after spraying it with some leave-in conditioner because I got to have some sort of detangler on there. And I section it off section by section. So these are my clips that I use. And I understand I'm a cosmetologist, so I have all of these things on hand. But really, guys, you can get a Denman brush and you can get alligator clips from Amazon. Really, okay? So I literally take it section by section. I'll start from the back and just pin my hair away and just begin to detangle with my Denman brush. And after I detangle my area, if it needs product, because sometimes it doesn't necessarily need product. Like sometimes I can put product in my hair and then it'll be good for a day or so. But if I need more product, I use my curl balm and I put my product back in my hair. I like curl creams and curl balms for my curls because I don't like things that feel crunchy. I like my curls to feel touchable and I like them defined. So, and then after they dry a little bit, then pick them up during the day. So that's my routine for my curls. And I just let my hair air dry. I just let it air dry. Even on cold days, I do that. But for people that don't want to do that because you guys don't want to deal with the cold, I totally get it. So if you don't want to deal with the cold, then the best thing for you to do is still follow that night routine. But then maybe what you need to do, instead of you just sticking that bonnet on, you might have to twist your hair up at night. You might have to actually, sit there and twist your hair into twists. It doesn't have to be little teeny weeny twists, but part it off in sections and actually twist it after you put your nighttime oil or your treatment on. And then when you get up in the morning, you undo your twist and you pick your hair up and style it up really nicely. And that way you don't have to worry about having wet hair and leaving the house. Me, I don't mind having wet hair. It will eventually dry. And I do say eventually because it takes all day. But it will eventually dry. Again, on my wash days, I shampoo and condition my hair. I put the leave-in conditioner, still section it off, put my products in, and I just go about my day. Another thing that some people might want to do, if you do have a blow dryer and a diffuser, you are able to use a diffuser to take that hair and just dry it a little bit. So if you, I don't have a diffuser with me, but if you ever seen a diffuser, it almost looks like a hand, and you just take it. You don't even have to put it so close. You can literally just kind of hold it in the section and just let it dry so that you're not walking out with wet hair. And I actually do recommend that for people who don't know how to, even on hot days, keep their hands out of their head, because you do have some people like that. They just keep touching and touching. And then at the end of the day, they go, that product didn't work. My hair's frizzy. And it's like, no, you keep touching it. So the curls never were able to stick and become defined. So if that's you, then by all means, make sure that you get a diffuser and diffuse your hair. But if you're able to keep your hands out of it, then just let it air dry. And it does great like that. Okay. So that's typically what I would suggest for somebody that really wants to protect their hair and wants to keep it moisturized. Notice that I said that I only put the oil in my hair at night. I know for some people they're like, you don't put oil in your hair like in the morning after you've done everything, and the answer is no. I have several reasons as to why I'm not a fan of over oiling the hair. I don't think it's necessary. I think that your moisture should come from clean water, okay? Clean water. And I just want to talk about this really quick too, because I noticed that this is another problem that people have. Let's talk about these brushes really quick. If you're using an easy detangler, you're using a dim, no, a wet brush, whatever your brush is, please keep your brush clean. Please, there should never be a time that you walk in to your bathroom and you feel product all over your products. There is hair in your brush along with the product that you used in your brush. Keep your brushes and your clips and your combs and everything clean because that really does help as well. Believe me when I tell you that moisture is a breeding ground for microorganisms to grow in places that you don't want them to grow. And when you have moisture in your brush with hair and product, and then you take that same brush and use it the next day, you are defeating the purpose of keeping that nice clean scalp and those nice clean follicles. You're defeating the purpose. Keep your stuff clean. It takes 5 minutes for you to run everything under hot water when you're done and take the excess, hairs out of your brush. Just clean it before you're done. I just wanted to touch bases on that because that just I can't believe how many people walk around with dirty brushes and whatnot. I'm like, wow, when I see certain people's brushes, I'm like, this brush has been through it.
Erikajoy,
Okay,
that's
so
like
we
a public service announcement. What you just said. That's a public service
yes,
announcement. Thank you.
exactly. So we definitely want to do that. So yes, notice that I did say that with the oils that they go on at night. Now, the problems that I find with oils is that people overly use oils and it's unnecessary. Your hair doesn't have to be weighed down with oils. And I think I've talked about this before, coconut oils and all these different things that people put in their hair, and I'm just not in agreement with those things, but I do believe that you should be using oils. In fact, Styled Life has two oils right now that they're selling. And one of the oils is a growth oil, and the other one is simply to nourish the hair. And I believe when I was looking at the ingredients of both oils, not only were they like top of the line ingredient, but they were very helpful. Everything that was in it was so helpful. Almond oil, things like carrot oil. And in the growth oil, I even saw retinol. I was like, what, vitamin A? I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Most people don't even realize that the same way vitamin A is good for your skin, this is skin too. It's good for your scalp. It's good for your skin. So those are two top of the line oils that you can use. You need to regrow your hair, go for the growth and nourish. If you just need some moisture, then go for the nourishing oil. But both of those oils are very good choices. They have very good product in them. And there is no need for you to overuse. No need, because a little goes a long way. You just put it on your hair at night to moisturize, because really your focus should really be those ends because you're trying to retain length. So it really should be the focus should be the ends. But if you do have a dry scalp, by all means, go ahead and oil your scalp. But if you have a dry scalp, also that means that you need to drink more water. Because really, truthfully speaking, in the winter months especially, you want to make sure that you're hydrated. You want to make sure you're hydrated year round. But hydration is another retainer of length as well. you have to make sure that whatever you do on the inside of your body, it matters. I don't know if you were there when I talked about nourishing the hair from the inside out, if you took that webinar or not, but if you didn't, I'll just give you a quick little take on it. I know that we're kind of running low on time, but one of the things that I always tell people is that whenever your body is not nourished, okay, you have to remember that the least thing, the one thing that you don't need, that the body says you don't need in order to survive, is your hair. Now, to us, our hair is our crown and glory. We love our hair, but your body doesn't care about your hair. So that means that if it needs nutrients, it's going to pull it from your hair. If you're depleted, it has to get it from somewhere. It's coming for your hair. Okay. So make sure that you stay nourished. Make sure you stay hydrated so that your hair can continue to flourish. Remember that your hair is made up mostly of amino acids, protein. Okay. So your body will pull from it if you're not careful. All right. So I think I covered most of the things that we needed to talk about. Um, Basically, everything that we covered today prevents breakage. It prevents dryness. If your hair is frizzy, I want you to know that there's a good chance that you need to go get a haircut. If your hair is frizzy, there's a good chance that you probably have too much protein and you probably need a chelating treatment. That a chelating treatment basically just gets rid of the buildup that's on your hair. You can go to a local salon, of course, that understands what you're asking for, and you can just tell them, I need a really good clarifying treatment. It's called the chelating agent. And that chelating agent will get rid of everything that's on that hair that should not be on the hair. And it just cleanses it, a deep cleansing. And then that way you can start your moisturizing process or hydrating process all over again. Okay. So with that being said, what kinds of questions do you have for me?
Thank you, Erikajoy. As always, we learned so much from you. And yeah, I mean, we have gotten a bunch of questions sent in advance from people who couldn't make the webinar. I don't know what order to go in. I guess I'll just start. I'll start in the order in which we received the questions. Okay, so one of the first one is, what are the biggest moisture challenges natural hair faces in winter and why? And I think you touched on that a little bit, but do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit more?
Yes. So of course, like as I stated just not too long ago, definitely not drinking enough water is going to be the biggest problem. I can tell you right now, in the winter, we definitely want to grab a hot drink, and that hot drink happens to be coffee, which is a diuretic, and meaning that we'll continue to go to the bathroom on a consistent basis. You'll urinate quite a bit with drinking coffee. And what that basically means is that it's depleting our bodies of water. You have to replenish that or put that water back in. Okay, so I always tell people this is just my rule of thumb. I'm not saying that it's some scientifically proven method, but I love coffee too. Okay, and especially living here in Florida, I drink most of the time cold brew, but during these winter months, I drink it warm. And anytime that I'm drinking coffee, I always make sure that for every cup of coffee that I drink, which would be an 8-ounce cup of coffee, I'm going to drink 16 ounces of water behind that. Doesn't have to be right away, but throughout the day, I'm making sure that I'm accounting for the fact that I just drank a cup of coffee that in the morning. And cold brew, I'm gonna put myself out there. I don't have an 8-ounce cold brew. It's more like a 20 something ounce of cold brew normally. But I also drink 89 ounces of water every day. So I'm always, keeping my body with plenty of fluids throughout the day. So basically, if you are not drinking enough water, you're gonna have issues with dehydrated hair or dry and brittle hair. You absolutely will.
Okay, that's fascinating because you mentioned people drinking warm drinks like coffee in the winter, which a lot of people do. I actually don't, but I drink a lot of tea, which is also a diuretic and also caffeinated. So, not just saying it again for people in the back, but for those of us who drink tea, would the same apply?
Yes, the same would apply because you're still urinating quite a bit throughout the day, and so I totally get it. I understand. I like tea as well, so I totally get it. I
Wow.
like
Okay.
both, so I'm really in trouble.
I don't think any of us think about that, or we don't know.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
yeah.
skipping over a couple that I know you've definitely talked about it at length. Um, what are some what are some heroes? They put it in quotes, hero protective styles that are both stylish and protective against winter weather, like wind, snow, and cold. And for some reason, thinking about how you said some people can't keep their hands out of their hair.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking keeping your hands out of your hair is protective.
Yes,
um,
definitely.
but do you have maybe a suggestion for something that's stylish and protective and does not include cotton thread on your scalp? I know you
Yes.
talked, I'm paying attention. I know you talked about, just doing twists if that's all you can do.
Yeah, so twists, and a lot, like I said, French braids, they're really in right now. When my hair was longer, I would do French braids whenever I couldn't figure out what to do with my hair. But then again, like I said before, I would also just take it and, you just kind of get it to a place where it's stretched out, and I will put my moisturizing creams on there and then just roll it and pin it. You do have to become the way that you become more familiar with your hair is to play with your hair, right? So you stretch it out, and you don't always have to stretch out hair with heat. I used to put my hair in ponytails and go to sleep with the ponytails, and the ponytails would stretch my hair out sometimes. So you don't have to put heat on it to stretch it. There are heatless ways to stretch your hair, but you have to get accustomed with what your hair can do and what it can't do, what products work on it and what products don't work on it. And it does take some practice, but you have to be comfortable. And I do want to give everybody a little bit of just some encouragement, and just let you know that, listen, at the end of the day, your face is your face. Your face is your face. You're uniquely made, you're wonderfully made, and you have to understand that you have to work with what God gave you as far as your hair is concerned. Whatever he gave you is what he gave you. But sometimes you don't even know what he gave you because you don't play with your hair. So it really does take for you to play with your hair to figure out what works and what doesn't, and play with products. I mean, I don't agree with you having a product graveyard. I really do
Yeah.
suggest that you go talk to a professional so that you can get one-on-one help with picking out products, and really getting accustomed with certain things. But once you get those products, really go through them, play with your hair, stretch your hair out, try wet looks. Wet looks don't work, okay, twist it out, do certain things to it. But there are countless protective styles that you could try on your hair that does not include carcinogenic braids, or cotton thread.
Right. Right. Okay. Now, you early on, you mentioned the importance of washing your hair twice a week. Um, I heard you say that at one of your previous webinars. I started washing my hair twice a week, and I noticed, honestly, a big difference, just as you said. I think that was an important tip for myself, for sure. But this question is, in the winter, how often should we be deep conditioning? Like, do you need to increase that amount of deep conditioning? And oh yeah, how often should we deep condition in the winter? And should we adjust the type of deep conditioner we use?
So in the winter months, of course, you're going to need more moisture. So you can increase your deep conditioning if you feel like your hair needs it, but just don't overdo it. Um, like I said, it's kind of difficult because here in Florida we don't get a lot of cold days, but I understand. Like if you're in cold weather, you might be experiencing a little bit, your curls might feel a little more parched than usual. By all means, go ahead and do another deep conditioning treatment. Just be careful not to overdo it. That would be my suggestion.
And is it still just as important to wash your hair twice a week or more, or does it again depend on where you are, but at least twice a week?
Yes, at least twice a week. The only way that I would say you can get away with not shampooing it twice a week is if you spent money on a silk press. If you
Okay.
spent money on a silk press, then hey, by all wear your silk press. And even then, I would still say 7 days.
Oh my God, I was not expecting
seven
that.
days.
That was so funny. I
Yeah.
actually find that since I've been washing my hair twice a week, it's it's less it takes less for me to detangle it. My hair looks better throughout the week because I don't even think I realized how dry it was looking by like day 4 or 5 because I was just so used to it, until I started doing it twice a week. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. My hair doesn't just look like this because it's my lack of attention.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And it's like you said, it's easier to manage, easier to tame. A lot of people think, oh, my hair is just so much. I'm not dealing with it. Oh my goodness, it hurts. And hey, it hurts and it's a lot to deal with because you're not shampooing it enough. If you shampoo it enough, it will begin that moisture that you get from just water, just clean water can do wonders for your hair
yeah.
because that's what the water, your hair is like a plant. You water it, it's going to give you so much more than you could have ever imagined. But the drier you keep it, yeah, it's going to be as stubborn as possible, you know?
Okay. And so you mentioned, you said that you put a little bit of oil on your hair before you put on your bonnet at night, just a little bit. I sleep with a bonnet every night, but I hadn't heard that until now, which is why I always say I learn so much from myself, even at every webinar. Um, so I guess I'm just asking you because that's like one of the questions here was, in terms of like what's your hair care routine with the bonnet. And what I heard you say is add a little bit of oil if your scalp needs it, do that, but under the bonnet at night. I'm gonna try that tonight.
Yes, absolutely. There, like I said, there's curl treatments out there. There's a curl treatment on the market that I mean, I love the curl treatment. But if you don't have curls or you don't normally wear a wash and go, just oil your hair. Oil your
Yeah.
hair. Because even when I'm out of that curl treatment, because that curl treatment is expensive. So when I'm out of the curl treatment, I just oil my hair. I
Yep.
use oil and just put the bonnet on. Yeah.
And there are more questions here, but I wrote down one for me that I actually want to make sure we get to. If you give me 1 second. Okay, so you mentioned you use curl cream and curl bombs because you want the
Hmm.
definition. Okay, I think I need to get in on this because I do use gel. And as I mentioned, there was one time I had my hair done and I wasn't paying attention. And then all of a sudden it was dry. Like my hair was crunchy. It was like paper. And I was thinking, this can't be healthy. Like it can't
No.
be healthy. But I do use gel because I'm very active and I live where it's warm, mostly not Florida warm, but warm. Um, but I think I'd like to try one of these curl bombs or curl creams to keep the curl, but not have because I do worry sometimes. I'm like, wait a minute, if my hair is crunchy, it feels like it's paper and it can rip and break. I don't know. That's just kind of what I think about. So, how do we find a good curl cream or balm that works? Is that trial and error?
Yeah, it is. Actually, I'm gonna tell you, I've been going through quite a few of them. I'll tell you some lines that I really have loved that my hair really appreciates. So one in particular that my hair really loves is this company called Design Me, and the product is called Bounce Me. My curls love this. Now, me being me as a stylist, I had to invest in their leave-in conditioner, but I had to kind of search around for it because they don't have a leave-in conditioner for this particular line. It's the Design Me has a leave-in conditioner, but it's not necessarily for curly hair. But I couldn't do it without the leave-in because for me, I just love leave-in conditioners. So that was one thing that was kind of like, okay, trial and error, but that product is very good. Another product, believe it or not, this is actually a curl defining gel. It's still pretty full because I don't like gels, but it actually is a good line of product. So this company is called Eterna, and this is their my canvas brand. But because I don't like gels, they also have a curl cream, and I use their curl cream, and it is all gone because I love the curl cream. This is like my bottomless pit of, product that's like my product graveyard because I don't like gels. Um, Another company that I've used that my hair really appreciate, Amika. Amika has a curl cream. All of the curl line is comes in this blue packaging, and Amika's curl line, the curl cream has been great. This is the my hair treatment that I use at night. They have a nourishing oil that's great. The whole line is great. And then my most recent one, which I don't have because it's in my salon, is called A Curl Can Dream.
Oh,
A Curl
that's
Can
cute.
Dream, and that's by Matrix. And again, they have the whole line with the gel and everything. My hair does not like the gel from that line, but what I do love from that line is the curl cream. So I noticed that with curl creams, like I guess because of their buttery kind of texture, the moment that it goes on my hair, it's the curls just immediately just spring into action, and it's like this is what I want. I don't want anything else, and we're good to go. But if I try to put gel on my curls, they what they try to do is elongate, and it loses the definition for some reason, and it
Yeah,
just doesn't work out well. And then it turns crunchy, and I don't like that. I don't
yeah.
like it.
Okay, I'm so
So
glad I asked about that. I'm going to try some of these and report back. But I am looking at the time. We only have a few minutes left, and I want to make sure I get our closing in. And of course, I want to thank Erikajoy Gardner so much for coming back, doing another webinar for us. Thank you. We're going to share a bunch of this information on our screen. And we invite anyone and everyone to come join our community on Mighty Networks. And that's where our club is. You'll get more tips. You'll get more references to products that are recommended. As Erica Joy mentioned, Styled Life Crown Club, we've got some of our own products, a couple of our own hair oils that are great. I want to let everyone know that our next webinar is Thursday, February 27th at 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern time. The topic will be Love Your Lengths, the secrets to growing healthy, long, natural hair with Lydia Anu. And she'll be discussing the importance of low manipulation styles. It's something that Erica Joe was just talking about. Not doing too much with your hair. Regular trims and nutrient-rich diets for hair growth. If you guys have been following along with us, you'll notice that's a theme. We have the best natural hair experts, and it's no surprise that everyone talks about health from the inside outside in order for your natural hair to grow healthy and strong. I also want to encourage you all to sign up on our website. You can scan the QR code on the screen to sign up for our Crown Club on our website. And you can also stay up to date through Instagram, our blogs, anything that we post on the website. We've got a whole calendar. You can take a look to see webinars that are coming up. I'm pretty sure we're posted through April or May, so you can see what's coming up. And then I just want to remind everyone to check out our parent company, Style Life, to book personalized hair, makeup, and fashion appointments with celebrity stylists. Erikajoy is one of them. She's not only an amazing hairstylist, she's also an amazing makeup artist. And she's can walk you through any look you want for any occasion. Trust me, I know personally. And if you are new to Erica Joy, I want to remind you of a few things. One, you can book private sessions with her on our website, styledlife.com. And also, if you when you go to Crown Club, you can take a look at our previous webinars. In the past, she's hosted Your Crown and Glory, Understanding the Essence of Health Hair, and she's also hosted Nutrition's Role in Healthy Natural Hair. And these definitely the theme is similar, but all new and different information. Erica Joy is a lifelong student and educator for herself and others. I hope you guys check out her profile on styledlife.com. You can check her out and book a one-on-one if you want individual suggestions or just hairstyling tips or a makeup look. With that, I think we'll wrap it up for tonight. Again, thank you, Erica Joy.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
And I wish everyone, health, happiness, and healthy hair.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.